Hello there. What's going on, everyone? Today we're going to talk about this Adepticon panel that's coming up at the end of the month because we actually got a little bit of news in this event that basically was created. So Fantasy Flight created the Fantasy Flight Games at Adepticon 2019 event. It's on Facebook, so you can actually take a look at the way they've officially listed this event, and it's going to give us a little bit of insight as to what we might expect. I do want to also remind you guys, there is a new round of the giveaway going on right now, so if you'd like to win an expansion of your choice in the form of an Amazon $25 gift card, all you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this event. So join us at Adepticon MMXIX. I don't even know my Roman numerals enough to know which one that is. I think that's like 2029. So they've been doing Adepticon since before we started. I don't know. It's not 2029. Well, we're excited to be a part of the world's largest convention of wargaming, celebrating its 17th year. MMXIX. There's wouldn't it be just simpler to say Adepticon 17? Like when you're that low and why do we do Roman numerals? Why do we even? This isn't Rome. We're not. Wait, is Adepticon in Rome this year? I'm pretty sure it's not in Rome. It's in Illinois. Yep. Okay. It is weird having Adepticon so close to Star Wars Celebration as well, also in the same state. So very interesting. Join us Thursday, March 27th at 1 p.m. in the Europa Ballroom for a product announcement and Q&A with Alex Davey and Brooks Pflugar-Levitt. Stop by a booth in the exhibitor hall all weekend for Star Wars Destiny demos, Star Wars Legion demos, Star Wars X-Wing demos. So, first thing is, we're going to notice there is no Star Wars Armada demos, and there is no demos of other things like that. So, that's a little bit of a hey, what's going on there? But, they did say new product announcement. Now, that's where we're at. That's pretty cool. So this doesn't just mean hey, we're going to talk about the future of the franchise. We're not just going to do some Q&A. They're going to be announcing something new. They're going to be announcing a new product. Now, we kind of guessed that they're going to have something like this, but to me, this is a big deal. This means it's bigger than them just announcing maybe a new focus or a new direction or something like that. It's going to be some kind of actual product they're going to have, and this is actually kind of consistent. Now, I do think we can infer a couple of things from this. We can infer that if they're going to have a new product announcement, it's probably going to be something significant. So not just something small like, oh, here's wave 6 of X-Wing. Not that that would be small, but, just another wave of something is something we generally tend to see from week to week. X-Wing, seems to get a new wave every month. Legion seems to get a new wave every week. Armada seems to get a new wave at least once a decade. So, I don't know if it'll just be a new wave, but it does seem like that they're going to be going ahead and announcing something a little bit special. So, which leads me to, all right, look at the presenters. Brooks and Alex both work on certain games. I believe Brooks works on X-Wing and Armada, and Alex, I believe, touches just about everything. So works on everything. So Alex Davey being there means it could be on virtually anything. But with Brooks being there, I think it doesn't necessarily. It may be for multiple games too, and that's the thing is we don't know. They did invite people out originally for Legion, X-Wing, and Armada for this thing. However, Armada is not being demoed, so maybe they'll be announcing something for all 3 of those games. And if so, what would be big enough to warrant that type of announcement and Adepticon thing? So here's what we're going to go from there. X-Wing, it could be Wave 5, although I don't really expect it to be Wave 5 because, well, we don't even have Wave 3 yet. Wave 3 for X-Wing is supposed to be coming soon, but we just don't even have it yet. Wave 4 will then be on the horizon. We haven't got any previews of that. To announce a Wave 5 for X-Wing this month might be, pushing it a little bit too far too fast. What would be different is if they announced or at least talked about the return of Epic to X-Wing. I don't think we're at the point where we need that to happen just yet for the game's health. I think the game's doing fine, but it would be nice to know, at least to talk about it a little bit and that, hey, we still have this is still in the pipe. It's still something that we haven't lost focus of. And by the way, here's some ideas. Here's some things that you can expect, because like there's a lot of questions about Epic and X-Wing. How are 7 factions going to fare with there's only 5 Epic ships, and 4 of them are split between only 2 factions. So is every faction going to have Epic ships? Is every faction going to have a certain number, like the same number of Epic ships? Is everybody going to have the small one and the big one? Is there going to do any more for the factions that already have Epic ships? There's all kinds of questions like that. And so they could talk a little bit about the direction for X-Wing Epic. That's one thing that they could do. For Legion, I think the big thing is probably most obvious is Clone Wars. They announced this last year, so it's been a long time. They said they're going to do Clone Wars. I would guess maybe they'll have something to show off. Maybe they'll have something, and if so, I expect a lot of pictures to be flowing. So that's kind of cool. So if they have that available, then that'll be really cool. It would also be a cool thing if they had that set up in time for Star Wars Celebration. That also makes a lot of sense. Next up is Armada. Now, it could be something as simple as just, another wave for Armada. Or it could be something as small as, a Super Star Destroyer update. Like, oh, guys, it's on the boat now, And that would at least be something. And I think the Armada fans right now are thirsty enough that they would even accept that as valid news. I'm included in that fan base, so I say we really rather than they. But yeah, anything would be good, but I'd be a little disappointed if that was the only thing they talked about. A lot of people have asked me, do you think this is going to be another Hyperspace Report 2.0, where they advertise all these games, and then it turns out it's only about one thing? I think we're going to get something about every game. I think they're going to at least talk a little bit about every game. I don't think it's going to be one single product announcement. I think it's going to be multiple things. There at least will be one product announced, though. At least one, because they said product announcement. Hopefully, there's product for all 3 games announced. Maybe even more than that. Maybe even an all-new game. Like, granted, we have Outer Rim coming out, so maybe there'll be an update for Outer Rim as well. They may announce something altogether new. They may go for, like, Armada 2.0. They may go with something like that. Or at least talk about that. Maybe they'll talk about some kind of rules update, or like a 1.5, which would kind of address some of the things people said could be done with Armada 2.0. Maybe they'll talk about that. Maybe they'll go into something just as simple as, we're not ready to talk about Clone Wars for Legion yet. Well, here's just another wave of expansions. Maybe we'll get something like that. There's a lot of things that it could be, but I'd love to hear what you guys think. What do you think they're going to announce at Adepticon? I'm personally, I guess this is a 2-part question. Because on one hand, I could say, what do you think they're going to announce? And on the other hand, I can say, or what do you hope they announce? Because a lot of times those are 2 very different things. Like, I hope they're like, here's everything that's coming for Armada. We're getting the Starhawk. We're getting more huge ships. And we're getting Clone Wars for Armada. And we're getting huge ships for the Clone Wars too. And we're going to have multiplayer battle supports and brand new gaming mats that are shaped differently to facilitate, like triangular gaming mats for multiplayer battle royales for, blah, 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 stuff like that, right? And Legion, here's the AT-AT Walker, and here's, we're doing, in addition to Clone Wars, we're doing First Order and Resistance. I mean, sure, why not? I mean, not yet. Maybe not. Maybe I'm getting a little carried away. It's way too early for stuff like that. I think we need at least 3 more years before we get First Order and Resistance and Legion. I think so. What do you think? And in X-Wing, I think we definitely need to get the existing factions ironed out a little bit more, but I would love to see Epic come back to X-Wing, and hopefully it plays faster than Epic in 1.0. So that's one of the things. And I did a whole video talking about that already. But, I think it's a big balance between what you hope they're going to do and what you think they're actually going to do. And I guess there's a third question is, what do you fear they will do? What would be like the worst case scenario? Like one thing could be, we're discontinuing Armada. No more support. It's done. Like, I don't think there's any chance of that happening with the Super Star Destroyer still looming. There's no chance. I mean, just look at how fast they sell out of stuff as soon as it comes into restock. I think that alone tells them we got to make more of this. We're printing money, basically. So I think Armada is safe, but that would be an example. Or another thing would be if they do another hyperspace report. People go there for X-Wing, Legion, and Armada, and it turns out it's all about only one game. Like, it's all about Legion Clone Wars and nothing else, right? Something like that, maybe. One of the things that I worry about is that what if it's all about Armada, but all the Armada players are in a tournament because Armada's having a tournament and everybody's going to be playing. Like, the Armada players who go there are going to be playing in like round 2 or what. I don't know what round is at 1 o'clock, but my point is, if you're doing a presentation for the Armada players, do it at a time the Armada players can come. Don't schedule it at a different time. So are they going to at least have it broadcast online? Will people watching online be able to submit questions that way? I can't go to Adepticon, so personally, I would love to be able to chime in and be like, what are you guys going to do about this? What are you guys going to do about that? Oh, that's a really nice lightsaber nunchuck looking ship. What are the stats on it? You know, and like, can you join it together with the chain? What happens if the chain gets blown up? Do the 2 ships fly independently? I don't know. I just made that up off the cuff. That would be pretty cool, though. A lightsaber nunchuck ship, right? Like a 2 ships that are joined by a chain and they fly together, and then they can spin around. And oh my gosh, I just invented something cool. Okay, well, we need to work on that. That's going to be the next new thing. The lightsaber, or the nunchuck ship. We don't have to call it a lightsaber ship. Just the nunchuck ship. And more realistically, it would be like, all right, it'd be like the Clone Wars, or not the Clone Wars, the prequels, like in pod racing, right? How the 2 engines are connected together by the little electronic things. So it would be like electricity nunchucks. We got a ship idea right now. I gotta draw it up. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for you today. I want to thank you all so much for watching. And as always, have a great day.